Hi there, it's Naomi here, and I'm creating another video today, this time in the Willower Therapeutic Coaching series about food difficulties, food addictions, compulsions, however you would like to view it, and perhaps you experience it within yourself. And I was delighted to read this blog about what's described as the bliss point, because it really helped to open my eyes to quite how clever and ingenious certain food manufacturers are at bringing in the certain combinations of flour, usually very refined white flours, sugar in many different forms, salt and fat, such that that food is simply delicious to us. We just have a bite of it and we just really want more. Certain types of us particularly, I do believe that certain types of us are particularly vulnerable, I guess, to the pull of that addictive combination of different food substances. And it makes sense, right? Because if we have that donut or biscuit, if we really succumb to the pull of that bliss point and we want to experience that bliss within our bodies, then we're going to want to eat it, then we're going to want to eat more, and we're going to keep buying and buying. And so, you know, it's good for the manufacturer. And it makes perfect sense. Like, I'm not here to blame or kind of point fingers at our consumer society. That certainly isn't my interest. But what I am interested in is having that piece of understanding about the bliss point and how the foods are manufactured to make us want more, how we can use that little kernel of knowledge that's now increasingly well researched to reduce the amount of shame that we feel towards ourselves rather than increase it. And that's even if we are still actively feeling the pull of those foods, criticizing ourselves for eating them and shaming ourselves and feeling more shame. So if we are still caught up in that food experience within ourselves and we don't feel free, and we hear about this extra knowledge about the bliss point, for example, from this video, that self-critical part of us could easily use that knowledge to then beat us up, right? It's like, you know about the bliss point, so just don't do it. Just don't succumb to that addictive pull. And yet sometimes it just is too strong. Some of us just may still be very much connected to that food, very much wanting that food. And so I would say the most important thing, if you feel that you are in that pattern, is to use the information to reduce the amount of self-criticism. It's understandable, right? The food has an addictive pull. And my invitation to you is to find yourself able to negotiate with that self-critical part of yourself. How can it relax? How can you experience the bliss and really breathe deeply, slow the process down, enjoy it? Because I mean, the worst thing ever, right, is to not even experience the bliss, not even allow yourself the pleasure of the experience. Obviously, we want to be eating foods that are healthy for us, that don't have us under their power. And yet the worst thing ever, I believe, is to shame and criticize ourselves for the choices we do make. That only compounds and speeds up the addictive cycle or that compulsion to food. So I'd love to hear your feedback on this video. If you have any comments, do post them. I really love getting comments, and I can respond with another video if you have a question. That's always a really great way to set up a connection, a conversation between us about this really knotty and interesting topic of being under the pull of certain foods.